Howdy all, this is Shane. Welcome to the 2015 rig and gear rundown. You're not allowed to technically call this a rig rundown, otherwise you get a trademark notification from Premier Guitar. So we'll stay away from that today and just call it a gear and rig rundown or a rig and gear rundown. Put the "and" in there and you're safe. So I'm going to show you my guitars and my pedals and what I'm currently using, as well as my amplifiers and some recording stuff as well. Had a lot of requests for this, so I hope this is informative as best as I can do it. And also, as you may or may not know, my gear comes and goes a lot. So if you've bought something based on my recommendations, I still absolutely love that. Doesn't mean that I'm still gonna have it if I have to make room for something else. So being that I demo hundreds of pedals every year, things change. So let's start with guitars. So let's start with my brand new Gibson Les Paul. It's a 1956 custom shop vintage original spec reissue guitar. So it's quite a mouthful, but basically it's built very much the same as they were back in the day. I've had a few Les Pauls over the years, and for one reason or another, I just didn't like them in the end, because either the neck was too thin, that was the main thing, or yeah, I don't know, they just weren't, the neck profile wasn't perfect. And it's one thing I've learned over the years, just to basically only buy guitars now that fit my hand in a particular way. I don't play my Strat a whole lot anymore, basically because the neck isn't as big as these. I got quite large hands, so for me, it's more of a comfort thing. This one I actually played about 2 or 3 years ago when I bought my red Toye ES335, and I remember saying to the guys in the shop, it's the best left-handed guitar I've ever played. I played some Paul Reed Smith guitars, and then he told me the price, and I went, nah, I can't do that. It's way out of my price range. And you know, 2 or 3 years later, or however long it was, I went back in there. It was still on the wall. So I tried it again and said exactly the same thing. It's the best guitar I've ever played. And luckily, the price dropped about $1,500 or something like that in Australian dollars. So you know, I couldn't say no. It was an absolute gem to find in a lefty. I honestly don't think there'd be too many of these in Australia. There might not be too many of these anywhere. So it's a beautiful guitar. I love the P90s. P90s are just something else. On both pickups, you're getting fantastic rhythm tones. You know, as good, or as, you know, it's slightly different, but as good as a Strat for rhythm in the middle. Kick it up into the neck, you're getting that fat, warm sound, perfect for blues, lots of chug. It's kind of rolled off a little bit in the highs, but it works extremely well. It's smooth and fat. Back pickup, it's got all the bite and bark of P90s. That's why you like them. The bridge pickups just take off for solos. I actually also solo a little bit on the both pickups, but I really like the bridge on this. It's one of the nicest sounding guitars I've ever played, the nicest looking, and it feels beautiful to play. And this is one of those guitars I'm going to have until either, you know, I'm not playing anymore, or I give it to like my kids or something, you know, if I ever have kids. But yeah, this is one of those guitars I don't plan on parting ways with. It's going to be with me till the end. All right, this next one is the Little Crow Corvino SD. The SD stands for my name, Shane Diorio. It's AKA the Blues Machine, is what I dubbed it before it actually had a name. And this is one of those guitars that plays itself. I don't know how to explain to people the reasons why this is so good. It's so good for a number of reasons. The pickup combination is something special. I remember talking to Dave, and he asked me, Dave and Viv from Little Crow Guitars, and they asked me, you know, what would I like in terms of pickup combinations? And I said, I'd love a mini humbucker and a Telecaster bridge pickup in a Telecaster. Like, that would be my ideal kind of pickup combination in terms of what I haven't got, which I'd love to get. At the time, I had a Les Paul with a mini humbucker, and I love the neck tone. But the bridge tone, as you know, as nice as it was, I still preferred the Tally bridge pickup. So in went a set of these Briley pickups, which are made in Australia as well. And it's got great sustain, it's nice and light, it feels great in the hand, the new neck profile's really nice, and yeah, this was the original that you've seen. It's been changed a little bit. Dave and Viv changed it had a sticker on there in the early days on the headstock. Now it's got a really nice medallion sort of embossed or recessed into the headstock. So it's great, stays in tune perfectly. It feels awesome to play. Neck pickup is total blues. Both pickups, great rhythm tones, much like my Les Paul. Bridge pickup, tally heaven, man. It sounds like a tally, except the F-holes on this particular guitar give the guitar more sort of sustain, and what it won't do is make it muddy. There's certain Telecasters that have humbuckers in the neck that just get muddy when they've got F-holes. I know there's a few of them out there. I'm not going to name them, but this is one of those guitars for me that just plays itself, and I use this on one of my live albums that I recorded live at the Oak Tree Tavern, and it's awesome. This guitar, I haven't had a bad day on it. I absolutely haven't. It's a beautiful thing, and yeah, I really dig it. So from one SD Corvino into another one, this is a Little Crow as well. This is the newer model of the black one. It has, I guess, a more detailed sort of natural finish on the front. The neck's slightly thicker as well. It's a bit of a different shape to what I was initially used to, but it has grown on me. Dave and Viv asked me if I wanted the neck swapped to the regular profile that's on the other one. I could get that done, but I'm thinking that I'll just keep this one as it is, a little bit different. I haven't told him that yet, but yeah, I actually really like having the variation, especially if, guitar should feel a little different. That's my opinion. If you're playing a Les Paul, it shouldn't feel like a Strat. If you're playing a Strat, it shouldn't feel like, a Little Crow. So having variations of something is a good thing as well. These sound identical as well. They've got different woods and all that kind of stuff, but you plug them in, they sound exactly the same. The pickups are exactly the same. Switching, everything I like about the black one, I like in this one. Doesn't have any more or less sustain because of the wood. It sounds and feels identical to my ear, at least anyway. So people who say that the tone woods make a huge difference in exactly the same guitar, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'll let you guys argue that out in the comments, because for me, both of these guitars sound the same, and I might do a blind test just to see if anyone can actually pick it or not. Initially, I did think they sounded different, but when I put new strings on both, that's where it ended. So yeah, make sure you do these tests with new strings. This is a beautiful guitar. Definitely check these guys out. I got a lot of nice comments for this one on the video when I did do that as well. So yeah, it's beautiful. All right, this next guitar is my 50th anniversary deluxe Stratocaster. Originally, this came with S1 switching on this volume pot, as well as Sumerian Cobalt noiseless pickups, which I basically ripped out not long after I got it. Replaced them with Fat 50s, replaced them with D'Allen pickups, replaced them with 68 custom shop Abigail Ybarra wound pickups, and I've now settled on the Zex Coil pickups. This is the second set of Zex Coil pickups I've put in. If you have seen my demos, I actually had a right-handed set of pickups in here, which I didn't know they were made that way around. I just thought they were interchangeable like most pickups are. But basically, Scott from Zex Coil sent me a left-handed set to replace the ones that I had in there that I got from Anthony Stauffer. And these pickups are fantastic. I absolutely love it. This guitar, while I don't play Strats a lot when I play live right now, I go through phases with all of my guitars. This has made this guitar come alive and I get no buzz. There's one venue that I play at which was just awful to play at with my single coils. It was unusable. It's completely unusable. So having these in there has been great. And the next gig I do there, I'm going to take this down with me and I'm going to enjoy it for the first time in a long time, because yeah, these Zex Coil pickups are awesome. But yeah, this came out in 2004 and it's the 50th anniversary of the Strat, I think, not a Fender. So there's a couple of different anniversary models. This comes with like a beautiful tweed, boxed case kind of deal. I've had the frets redone on here recently, just like a fret file, or whatever you want to call it, a fret dress, because I'd really worn out quite a lot of them. It's getting to the point. Soon I'll have to end up replacing them with 6105 stainless steels, but that's worth doing. This is a guitar that I've had since, I've had it over 10 years now, and this is the one that I'm going to keep until the end of time, much like my Les Paul. It's just a beautiful lefty for me. I don't have a lot of good choices for left-handed Strats. There's just not a lot out there in terms of Fenders. There's a lot of other brands that do make some good ones. I know G&L are making some really cool strats that I want to check out, but this will be with me till the end. I tend to go for the classic look of guitars, like, you know, two-tone sunburst on this one, gold top on the Gibson. I'll get to my Telecaster next, but yeah, I like very traditional types of guitars, and this particular one, yeah, I remember picking it up and just thinking, wow, there's a guitar that I'll keep for as long as I'm playing, and I'm glad I have. So far, I haven't, you know, been in a situation where I have to offload everything, and I have had a lot of strats over the years, some Highway 1 strats and Mexican strats. They've all been great, and my Squier Classic Vibe, which I don't have anymore, unfortunately, but yeah, I had to make some sacrifices along the way when I, you know, buy something like the Gibson, and it means I sometimes have to get rid of some stuff, but this one will be in my collection until, like my Gibson, until the end of time. I absolutely feel like that, and I honestly feel like these pickups will be in the guitar as long as I'm playing, unless of course they make some new or different ones that sound even better, but I'm totally blown away by the Zex Coil stuff, so I'm gonna just use this as it is. It's very usable. It's a usable Strat, I like that. All right, over to my 1952 reissue Telecaster by Fender. Picked this up in Haight Street Music in San Francisco quite some time ago now. And if you're looking at it and you're not getting the glare, there we go, from my lights, you'll see that I'm actually starting to wear it out. I played this guitar non-stop for a long, long time. I've actually modded it a little bit over time as well. I replaced the frets that I wore out with stainless steel 6105s, I think they are, frets. So they'll last me now until the end of time. The vintage ones just wore out. I played this guitar a lot. I was playing it almost every day, and it just, yeah, the frets just didn't last. So the frets got replaced. I replaced the pickups with these Joe Barden noiseless hum cancelling pickups. These are Danny Gatton pickups, regular neck pickup and a hot bridge pickup. I've also replaced a little plate here. I got a plate from a company in the US that make these out of titanium. The name escapes me right now, but I'll put it up on screen. And basically, yeah, these, you know, it's just angled. It's just something cool. I thought, why not? I'll give that a shot. So I've just left it on there. It doesn't really serve any other purpose. I didn't need to swap it, but I thought, you know, I've got it. Let's use it. And other than that, it's pretty much stock. I have sanded back the neck a little bit on it. The neck feels nice and big in my hand as well. It's a really comfortable guitar to play. It's probably the most comfortable guitar I've got in terms of just familiarity with it. I think, you know, over the years, everybody goes for one guitar more than everything else. And this was the one that I played for probably like 5 years straight without really playing anything else. And every time I get back on this, I smile because I think, yeah, this is just a great guitar. This will be with me till the end, much like my Gibson and my Strat as well, and my Little Crows. I love all of these guitars, and this is my only Telecaster right now. As you may know, I had a Squier Classic Vibe, which I absolutely loved. But when I got the Gibson, I had to make some financial sacrifices, and I got rid of both of my Classic Vibes. Not to say I won't buy another one down the track, but I don't like the credit card debt hanging over my head, so I offloaded quite a few things to help pay for that Gibson. And yeah, you know, having one of each is a lot less distracting as well. I couldn't imagine having, you know, 3 or 4 of the same guitars, like 3 or 4 Strats or 3 or 4 Telecasters or 3 or 4 Les Pauls. Just give me one. That's what I need, and I'm happy. I know what I'm going to get out of it that way as well. All right, over to my Toye 145L. This is a made in Japan guitar, and it's basically a copy of a Gibson ES335. Built, I think, to more of a vintage spec, so it has a lot of chime and clarity, which a lot of Gibson 335s, or modern Gibson 335s, I should say, don't have. They're really dark and sort of thick sounding. This has a lot more chime and a little bit more of an open sound. I've had a Gibson ES335 and 2 Epiphone ES335s as well, the dots. And I would take the dot ES335 over the Gibson 335 that I had. Those 2008 models, man, were dark and real MIDI sounding, and not in a nice way. It always felt like there was a blanket over the pickups. This was the first one that I ever played that had all the characteristics in a 335 I've been looking for a a long time. And luckily when I was in the shop, same shop that I bought my Gibson Les Paul from in Sindel Music, I was in there and a few other of my friends were in there as well. And I got to test this against the exact same thing in a 2008 ES335 by Gibson, and it was a no-brainer. Everything about this sounded nicer. Tone is subjective, of course, everybody likes different things, but for what I was looking for, this was perfect. And it's one of those guitars that, you know, I'm yet to play another ES335 that I like more than this. I played an original 1960s left-handed Gibson, which was nice too, but this still feels better. The neck feels a little bit better. It's it for my hand, that is. I found the Gibson one a little thinner, and yeah, it just sounds great. It sounds awesome plugged in. The pickups are a great match. Middle pickup combination, or both pickup combinations in the middle of the switch here will give me some really good rhythm sounds with the neck control just down a little bit. Neck volume control, I mean. Neck pickup, play that all day for blues. Bridge pickup, play that all day as well. This has a little bit more bite and a little bit more sizzle than the Les Paul, so it's a good variation in tone. Even with the settings the same, these guitars sound extremely different, and that's what I like about it. It's a beautiful guitar. The only thing I've changed on here was the pickup selection switch. It was one of those things that it always give me a little bit of grief, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot and see if I can replace it, and I did. And it wasn't easy at the time, but I got it to work, and it's been great. Yeah, so if you don't know anything about Toye guitars, then you need to check them out. I think they make some of the best stuff in the world. Every Toye guitar I've played personally has been absolutely awesome. And I'm not saying they're all fantastic, but the Japanese made ones are as good as they get. I'd take this in a heartbeat over my old Gibson ES335. I actually offloaded that as soon as I got this because the tone was just second to none. So that's it. That's my entire electric guitar collection. As you can see, I've kept some things over the years and other things have had to go, unfortunately, but I love all of these guitars, and I'm happy playing any of them at any given time. I'm loving the Les Paul. I do go through phases, so I'm loving the Les Paul. I definitely want to try my Strat more now, live as well, now that I can actually use it. The pickups just make such a nice difference. I've been playing my ES335 a lot. I've abandoned my Telecaster lately, but man, what a nice guitar. Even picking it up again for this little gear rundown thing has been, it's ignited the flame for me to use it again. It's great. And little crow guitar sings and sounds great. It's absolute blues machine, this thing. Anytime I'm playing straight blues, can't go wrong with any of these two. I mean, they're all great. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna break these videos up into 3 parts, so check back. Next time we'll go over some amplifiers, and on the 3rd part, we'll do all of my pedals. Well, not all of them, I don't have that much memory on my video camera, but we're gonna do a video at least of the ones that I'm using right now on my board. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, you can catch me in the comments below, or you can also head over to intheblues.net, where we've got lots of people discussing gear. It's a really cool forum, so sign up if you can. Yeah, definitely check it out. Thanks for watching.